everybody. 15 local business owners and executives have been selected to be part of the Emerging Leaders Program. This is the first time the Small Business Administration's Wichita District Office has offered the program. We're very fortunate to have 3 guests here with us today to tell us all about it. Seated down at the end, we have Wayne Bell, who is the SBA's Wichita District Office Director. Seated next to him is Pat Brown-Dixon. She is SBA's Regional Administrator for Region 7 out of the Kansas City Regional Office. And then next to me is Tamika Montgomery, and she is SBA's Associate Administrator for Entrepreneurial Development out of the Washington, D.C. office. We're so glad to have you guys in town with us.
We're glad to be here.
Thank you.
Well, I know this is a new program to Wichita, but not to the SBA. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. Emerging Leaders has been around for, I believe this is the 7th year of the program, the first year in Wichita. And the whole idea is to help companies that are probably at about that first phase of growth to go to the next level. And the first phase meaning they're somewhere maybe around $1 million in sales, they have a few employees, and they have a really good handle on the business in terms of what they do. But now we want to challenge them to think about being a bit more strategic about how they grow and about how they ultimately create jobs for our community. So.
And tell us, how did you guys go about selecting these 15 lucky people?
Oh wow, that that was really, really tough. We had over 40 applicants for our program, which was awesome. I think typically the number is a little less than that. And so anyway, out of our 40 applications, it was painstaking because we had really, really good companies, but we had to make decisions. We didn't want to put, for example, too many companies of the similar nature to avoid having competitors, in the group. We didn't want to have too many, again, from a particular sector, and so it was pretty tough. The business owners had to be in business for a few years. Had some minimum requirements. Again, had to be at least $500,000 in sales to a maximum of $10 million, and just went through the process and got it down to a really dynamic group, and very excited about what's next.
Pat, is the program the same from city to city, or does it vary?
Well, in our cities it is. Tamika, she might be able to answer that.
So the Emerging Leaders Program, we do it in 27 communities throughout the United States. And in every community we use a consistent curriculum, so it's a 7-month program. And so outside of the guest speakers and the different instructors, the curriculum is the same from community to community.
And tell me more about what exactly they'll be learning.
Yeah, so we understand that growth-oriented businesses have a different set of challenges than startup businesses. And those challenges are with respect to refining their core strategy, expanding their market, adapting to industry changes, understanding and accepting their new leadership role as the executive of the company and no longer trying to do everything. And what this program does is it really helps them to understand all of those different components so that they can kind of leverage this growth trajectory and develop a growth strategy for the future.
Do they have to do homework?
Oh, yes. Yes. So the program really is about 100 hours of in-classroom and out-of-classroom coursework over the course of the 7 months. But I've spoken to many people who have gone through the program, and these are busy executives, but they all say it was well worth it. So,
and on that note,
why we wanted to keep it in this region. This is a 4-state region. I call it the MINK region: Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. We've had 2 programs, I guess, for the last 7 years, in at least 1 city in our region, but we were getting ready to lose it. And then I thought, well, we've got Wayne Bell,
he's the man,
who likes to think out of the box in the Wichita District Office. And I know that he's always looking for something for Wichita. Don't forget Wichita. Don't forget Wichita. So I guess I was programmed, and I thought, well, why don't we, before you make a decision to take this out of the region, let's see if Wayne Bell's office would be interested. And I knew that he would be. So that was a moot. point.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
So that is one of 27 cities in the United States. Where are the others?
I was recently at the kickoff in Baltimore, Maryland, which was one of the very first, the original ones. Next week we have a kickoff in DC, which will be the inaugural class in DC. This year we have
that'll be our
four.
first.
Yeah, this year we have 4 new communities: Wichita, Washington D.C., Miami, and
New Jersey.
New Jersey, exactly.
Wayne, you've represented us well.
Well, I do remember probably about 4 or 5 months ago, Pat gave me a call one evening, and it was very interesting. She was very passionate about this initiative. I'd heard about the initiative internally in the agency, but I really wasn't closely, familiar with it. And so we talked, and I'll never forget, Pat talked about just what it meant to the business owners that went through the program. So, after just really a short conversation, it just occurred to me that at the end of the day, this would be a great opportunity for business owners in our community who were ready to take their business to the next level, to ultimately create jobs and just really create something that I think hopefully will lead to more opportunities, more emerging leaders classes here. And it's just not a hard sell at all when you dig into the details of the program. I mean, firms really get intimate information about how to move the needle in terms of how to better market their firm, how to really understand your financial numbers, and how to make changes that will impact those numbers, how to market to the federal government, how to be an exporter. There are opportunities where we're going to bring in subject matter experts, local panels, representatives from our financing community, accountants in the area. So really, I think just a great opportunity for a company to further develop, or their executive to further develop and ultimately make a big difference in their business.
Mm-hmm. And the people who've been through the program are the ones who really sell it the most. Mm-hmm. I've also talked with some of those people who graduated from the program, and they said one of the key advantages was that it allows them to work on their business as opposed to just in their business. And then the relationships, the peer-to-peer relationships that they develop, many of them stay together. They consider themselves maybe a board of directors for each other, and they still continue to bounce ideas off of each other for years afterwards. And we've also seen that there's an increase in employment. Small businesses are the employers, major employers. So apparently there have been some stats as to the amount of business that these folks have been able to the amount of employment that they've been able to garner as a result of being in the program, and maybe even their finances.
Yeah. So one of the things we are very proud of with this program is that we're seeing some significant economic impact and improvement in these companies. We surveyed our 2012 cohort, and one of the findings that we found is that after a year in the program, or after a year having completed the program, participants started their business at on average about $864,000 in annual revenue, and that increased to about $1.1 million afterwards.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, no, that's pretty significant. Yes. Additionally, one of the average salary of jobs that they were creating was about $48,000. So that's pretty significant in that they're creating, gainful employment opportunities for business owners. And then many of them, as Pat said, they develop strategic relationships that even equip them to go after government contracting opportunities. And many of the companies who participated have been successful in that, seeing an average of about $2.1 million in contracts after completion of the program. So I like to
There's a
say,
process,
yeah,
yes.
I like to say that what it does is it provides key access to information. I know at SBA we also do access to capital,
Yes.
but access to information is so key for a business's growth as well.
And is that something you guys see a lot where somebody's starting off a business and they don't know where to go to get information or who to work with? Or do you see that very often?
Every day. Every day.
Yes.
We're a well-kept secret that we don't want to keep secret any longer, the Small Business Administration, because we're the only federal agency whose entire goal and whose entire mission is to help start and grow successful small businesses. So that's what we do. We've got a great website while we're talking about it, www.sba.gov. It's such a great website because it also gives you a gut check. If you go to that website and you say starting a business, there are 20 questions that it asks you to ask yourself. You know, do you have these attributes? Are you ready to work 25 hours a day? Does your family support you? What do you think about weekends? And then it also gives you an indication of the steps that you have to go through, about 10 steps to start your business, whether it's home-based, internet, brick and mortar, whatever. And SBA is just a great website and has some actual seminars and online tutoring and courses. And if you enter your zip code, it'll tell you the SBA resources that are nearest you, like Wayne's office.
Absolutely. It is a very, very helpful website. Again, sba.gov. A lot of good information. There are tools for business owners, a lot of training tools, that sort of thing. And, you know, getting back to the program itself, Emerging Leaders, when you look at it, and certainly as representatives of SBA, it really, this program illustrates what we're all about. It's really about helping business owners who are really the stars of the show, right? And so we're just helping business owners to find that path, to create, you know, jobs, to grow, to you know, just foster more economic activity that ultimately helps Wichita and ultimately will help our state. So this is a great program. I'm very excited about it. We have an excellent local instructor who was selected as the facilitator, Dr. Wendy Monday. And she went away to get training on the curriculum and everything. And now she's set and ready to go, and we've met with her a few times. Our project manager, Michael Aumack, has worked very hard to coordinate the program behind the scenes. He's worked pretty closely with the business owners who've been selected, and we're just very excited and ready to go. So,
And Michael's in your office.
absolutely. Michael is here in Wichita. Michael is a public information officer / economic development specialist, wears a couple of hats, does a great job, and very, very enthused and excited about this program.
Well, you guys have a lot to be excited about, and it sounds like people will really benefit a lot. And that brings me back to when you were sharing those statistics, it made me wonder about, you know, how competitive this was with other cities to try to get one of those spots. And what did we have to do to actually get to be a part of this program?
We had to be passionate. I had to beg. I really did have to go through a few steps because I got a call saying, well, we're not going to be able to offer you another program in your region. You've had two, but we're going to have to take one away. And I'm like, no, that we can't have that. So I said, just give me about 5 minutes. I need to check on something. And that's when the call went to Wayne. I knew Wayne would be interested because that's right up his alley. And he is, he's a Wichita Convention and Visitors Association wrapped up all in one.
Right.
Whatever it is about Wichita, he's on it.
He's a champion.
Oh, yes.
Well, I will take the opportunity to say I love Wichita. This program is great. By the way, the agency, here's kind of how it works. The agency has contracted with an organization, Interrise. Interrise is actually delivering or charged with delivering the content of the program, right? The participants aren't charged a fee to participate, but part of our assessment process and in the process of interviewing and selecting the firms, they had to really demonstrate a commitment to staying engaged throughout the program. While there isn't a financial investment, there's a huge time investment. As Tamika pointed out, it's 100 hours or so of their time that they're going to commit to being here and being engaged. And because it was such a competitive process, we didn't want to have a business owner participate who really wasn't serious about being engaged. Again, the other benefit in their engagement is this: the peer-to-peer conversations, sharing. There's going to be one company that may have dealt with an issue of hiring talented staff or retaining talented staff, and there may be another participant that isn't quite at that step who can benefit from the experience that their peer would be able to share. So this group of 15 is actually divided into 3 groups of 5, and in those smaller peer groups, they're going to meet offline. They're going to talk a little further about whatever the challenge is of the day, whatever the particular assignment is of the day. That group and that team is going to talk a little further before they come back together as an entire group
So they
to talk about where they are.
Yeah, they formally meet one day a week.
They will meet, actually, it's bi-weekly. So they will meet one evening, and I believe our class time, we've settled in on, I believe, 5 to 8 p.m. And our group is going to meet bi-weekly, I believe, on Tuesday nights. And but there's a little bit of flexibility there between the instructor and the class, and certainly we're going to just stand by and kind of help, again, to shape this activity. But they'll meet bi-weekly. They'll have some out-of-class assignments, and they're working the entire time on further developing a strategic plan for the growth of the business. And certainly, I may not be doing all of the details justice to me to talk about it, but I just think it's a great program, and I think at the end of the day, we're going to hear some great stories on how companies have used this experience to go to a new level, to create jobs, and to really make an impact, in our community.
You have anything you would like to add?
Yeah, no, I always tell people, one, don't be fooled by the price, because the price is right.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, when you think about it, why wouldn't you take advantage of something that the government is offering to specifically help you grow and scale up your company? And as Wayne said, when we look at job creation, we know that small businesses are creating 2 out of every 3 net new jobs. Very significant job creators. And more specifically, the bulk of those jobs are being created by established businesses that are growing incrementally. And so, to be able to offer a program that's specifically targeted at growth-oriented businesses, to provide them with the information to help them scale up, I think is so vitally important, not just for our nation, but as Wayne mentioned, for local communities, because locally is where small businesses are.
So do you guys think we have a good shot at keeping this program here?
Yes.
With
Yes,
you on board?
Yes,
That's right.
we do.
Well, I don't think anything. I think Pat and I together, that's a tough team to stop.
Dynamic duo.
He gets on one side, I got him on the other side, and they can't say no.
No doubt. There are organizations such as the City of Wichita who are involved as co-sponsors that I would be remiss if I didn't talk about their involvement. You've got, again, the City of Wichita, their purchasing department is a partner on this, as well as Wichita State University, the Center for Innovation and the Center for Entrepreneurship, the Kansas Small Business Development Center, Kansas PTAC, as well as the Kansas-Missouri Mountain Plains Minority Supplier Development Council, Wichita SCORE, Rose Hill Bank, Intrust Bank, Cargill Meat Solutions, Beechcraft Corporation, Wichita Public Schools, their purchasing department, as well as the Wichita Metro Chamber of Commerce and Westar Energy, and the Kansas Leadership
I
Center.
thought you would.
Don't forget them.
So
They might be the first one that you mentioned beside the city.
Absolutely. It just shows that in our community we have a great group of partners and resources that really are here to help support economic growth
Yes.
and business activity. Everyone that I've talked to about this program is excited about it. They want to be engaged. So, we're looking forward to it and looking forward to the class and the graduation, which will take place sometime out in November when it's all done.
So what exactly do the sponsors have to do? Are they giving money, or are they giving mentors, or?
Well, combination of things. As we talked about earlier, there are a few subject matter expert panels. We'll draw from the co-sponsor organizations. For example, on the accounting panel and the financing panel, we've got 2 lenders in the group between Rose Hill Bank and Intrust Bank, so we'll ask for their expertise on those panels. We've got buying representatives from the city of Wichita, from Wichita Public Schools, my good friend Darren Busey. So we're going to ask them to be engaged in some of those subject matter expert panels. Also, being a federal agency, there are things that we can't do all the time, and so our co-sponsors, they can kind of make fill the gap in those areas where we can't necessarily anything from providing refreshments to that sort of thing. As a federal agency, we can't do that, but our co-sponsors can. And likewise, we want to have a very nice graduation ceremony for the class. So these partners from the community can help with those things that we can't do as a federal agency. In total, but really, their participation more than anything is about supporting these business owners, and at the end of the day, possibly grooming a supplier that may ultimately help the organization. So the City of Wichita, Wichita Public Schools, Cargill, Westar Energy, they have all been asked to actually recommend companies for the program, and a few of the recommendations are actually inside the class. And so it's one of these opportunities to really better help to develop a supplier who may ultimately help that organization.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Yes.
I'm told that from the beginning to the end of the program, that the owners now can talk financial lingo to each other, rather than just leaving it up to their accountant or whomever, and they can talk with the bankers because they know the language, and the lenders, and it just puts them in a much more comfortable and confident position to further the growth of their company.
And that's so important
Yes,
to know
it
what's
is.
going on.
It is.
Right,
It really
right,
is.
right.
Will you tell me a little bit more about how this will work? So you'll have this first class go through the process, they'll graduate, and then will we have to fill out a bunch of paperwork and have you guys go to bat for us to try to get the next class? And then would that be...
It's going to be so successful that it's just going to be a rotating process. And
Once a
that-
year?
Yes, I think we're going to keep it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think from our headquarters perspective, what we look at is the demand for the course. Do we have a
Check.
significant demand and community support?
Check.
Because the demand is driven by the community that
Absolutely.
recommends and identifies people to participate. The other is the level of satisfaction of the participants. In general, we have about a 98% satisfaction with people going through the program, and so we want to make sure that in terms of not only how the program is being coordinated, but then also in the administration of the instruction of the curriculum, as well. So all of those things going well, then we would not have any reason to pursue another location. Our desire nationally is to identify more communities throughout the United States where we can offer this program.
Okay.
I want to thank the mayor for his leadership
Absolutely.
in the city of Wichita, Kansas.
Absolutely.
As well.
Mayor Brewer was actually his office was one of the first calls
Yeah.
I made about the program, and he's all over it and in full support. So certainly appreciate the mayor's support in the city of Wichita. And again, good group. We have an excellent instructor again, by the way, Dr. Wendy Monday. She actually heads up the MBA program at Newman University, and I'll tell you, from a very short list of highly qualified local instructors, she was selected, and we couldn't be happier with her. We know that she's a dynamic instructor, and she's gotten very familiar with the curriculum, and so should be very good experience for the class. And the class is pretty diverse. We've got a good representation of a number of sectors. Manufacturing, I believe there are 5 manufacturing firms that vary. We have aerospace manufacturing and then also representative from the oil and gas industry. We have a few engineering firms. We have a security services firm. We have 2 residential and commercial construction firms. So pretty diverse. We've got 3 IT related firms. So yeah, should be a really diverse group that should be able to provide just a lot of perspectives around various topics. So pretty excited.
Definitely sounds like a diverse group and well thought out. Before we go, do you guys have any final advice to people who are watching this program and thinking, hey, I might want to be a part of this next year?
Can I? I would just say, whenever people are looking at both starting and growing a small business, that they should look toward the SBA. I mean, as Pat said, we exist to help small businesses start and grow. And the beauty is that within the Small Business Administration, our services can serve a small business throughout the life cycle of their business. So from a nascent person who's just thinking about it to a multi-million-dollar business, $10 million, who is still looking at refining their core strategy and growing. And so we have services from our counseling and training, which this program falls under, to our government contracting, as well as accessing capital. So go to sba.gov and find out how we can help you.
And that's what I'd like to leave them with as well. The greatest resource for those, I call them pillow dreamers, who are dreaming, someday I'd like to start my own business, or those who are saying, I'm stumped right now, but I don't know where to go and what to do. SBA.gov.
Absolutely. For those firms that unfortunately weren't selected for this inaugural class, the opportunity is coming again in the future. And in the meantime, check us out. If you visit sba.gov, you learn about our local services. We have a host of classes and workshops that we do all the time. So you can still be engaged with us. And if you remain interested, maybe you'll be in the second class, and we would love to have you. So sba.gov.
I'm going to check it out. You hope to be. Well, Wayne, Pat, and Tamika, thank you so much for being here. It's been really fun to hear about emerging leaders.
Thank you.
And you guys will have to come back next year and tell us how well everything went.
We'll be here.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and make sure to check out sba.gov.